Hello, Eurovision friends. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, Eurovision Histories. We are now exactly a week away from the grand final of Eurovision 2025. So happy Eurovision week to all of you. The excitement is really growing for me as well every single day. And today I want to give you an odds update now that we have seen a lot of the rehearsals, all of the rehearsals really. The only countries we don't have video clips of yet are the Big Five and Switzerland, but we will see them today. And in the past, we have seen during the rehearsal week, the odds change quite a bit. In 2014, for example, we saw Conchita and also the Common Linnets go up the odds and really become the favorites that no one expected before. We also saw that with Eleni Foureira in 2018, but also last year a bit, Baby Lasagne overtook Nemo during rehearsal week, which is also kind of a warning sign that we shouldn't take the odds too seriously. Sometimes they overreact. We saw that with Lazara as well, who shot up the odds once people saw the staging with the big pole, which in the end didn't really work. So let's look at the odds as they are at the moment with all of that in mind. Sometimes it's overvalued, the rehearsals we see, and sometimes the real favorite emerges right after the rehearsals. So these are the winners' odds. I'm again using the great website eurovisionworld.com, so check them out if you haven't yet. I'm not going to talk about too much about the lower positions because not all that much has changed. The rehearsals haven't really made a big difference there. One thing I like to see is that Montenegro is going up a bit. People seem to be impressed by the rehearsal. Maybe they also remember that that song actually exists. It was the first one chosen, so I'm very happy for Nina because this is one of my favorites this year. We also see, which is nice to see, that Luxembourg and Armenia are going up. I do think that that makes sense because I think their rehearsals were quite good and they create a vibe that really works with their song. Another one that is going up is Latvia in 29th position. They were 34th, and again, a good rehearsal. I don't know why people are surprised because it was also very good in the national final. Otherwise, you see Denmark, Azerbaijan. I agree with that assessment that the rehearsals were not that great, so they're going down a little bit. By the way, sorry, Denmark, I forgot to include them in my review of the rehearsal clips of semifinal 2, which might not be the greatest sign. It all looks a bit old-fashioned, maybe. I don't like the leotard all that much. It's much more expensive looking than at the national final, but I still think this is in a lot of trouble. Justina and Poland with her dragon going up, that also makes a lot of sense. San Marino going down doesn't make that much sense to me because I think the staging is quite good. And then you see Greece, the green arrow there, so it's gone up a bit since last time I looked at the odds, but since the last time I did a video, it has gone down a bit because people were not that impressed with the photos, but now they like the video clip, I think, so it is going up a little bit. Again, then we have Spain and Germany also improving. Germany especially, we were 21st and now we're 17th, so not a huge improvement, but still I do believe that the photos you know, made me a bit more confident that the staging will look quite cool. And then one that I'm surprised is not higher is Switzerland. The staging notes sounded incredibly beautiful, and I think this will stand out so much in this year of bombastic stagings, and they just stripped it down to just her and her emotion. So I think this could be a dark horse and go up much further once we see the semi-final performance. Then we see the UK going up. They had a good rehearsal, but also during Eurovision week, the UK sometimes increases a bit more because people in the UK who are betting become aware of the song a bit more. Cyprus is quite low for the great rehearsal they have had. And then Albania has been kicked out of the top 10, where they were the last time I did a video. And now Malta is in the top 10, which makes sense. The staging is good. I thought about the staging is not as over the top as it was in the national final. So maybe that helps it to go up in the odds because people think that the juries will not completely kill its chances. Then Estonia has been rather steady. No big surprises in the rehearsals there. Czechia has gone down, as you can see. He was, well, in my last video, he was eighth, but in the video I did 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, he was sixth. So people are not that happy with the rehearsal. It doesn't quite work, the staging, I think, with the song, unfortunately. So the dark horse status I gave Czechia before, I don't quite see that anymore at the moment. Finland increasing, people remembering how great Erika is, and she was in the rehearsal clip. And then this one in the last video, I said, I don't understand why Belgium is this high. Now I do understand, because the visual identity of this was amazing in the rehearsal clip. If he gets the vocals right, this is maybe an outside contender, like a contender with an outside chance, I mean. Then the Netherlands have gone down a teeny tiny bit. He was at a 6% winning chance. People have criticized the staging. I like the staging. I think it looks expensive, but people expected a more summery, dancey vibe for this, which they might be right about, to be honest. And the vocals were also not that good, even though we have to remember it's a rehearsal. People get too upset about these things and forget that it's a rehearsal, and that's what rehearsals are for. Israel is holding steady at 6%. They have overtaken the Netherlands, but the winning chance has not changed all that much. France had an 8% winning chance last time and is steady as well. I think they might improve once we see a rehearsal clip if the vocals are good, because it looks really, really beautiful with the sand and everything. Beautiful staging. And this is the big one that has increased the most. Only a week ago, this was at a 16% winning chance. Now it's at 23%. And a few weeks ago, it was at 15%. So really an 8% improvement for Austria. People love the black and white staging. It looks impressive. I do agree with that. The photos especially. So yeah, and the vocals are amazing. I think people think this will sweep the jury vote. We'll look at the odds for the juries in a moment. Though there might be, and I forgot to talk about that, some odds effects where people think France has been very successful with ballots in the past, so let's bet on that. Israel did so well in the Tele-vote last year, so let's bet on that. And for Austria, maybe we had a song with operatic vocals win last time and win the jury vote, so let's bet on that. I don't think the odds effects are that strong this year. I do agree with most of them, and I also agree that Austria has a good chance of winning. And in first place, we have Kai. It seems weird to say that they have gone down. They had a 40% winning chance a few weeks ago. Then they were at 38% last week. Now they are 34%. Still the big favorites to win, as you can see, but JJ is getting closer and closer to them. But at the moment, you still want to be Kai when you look at these winners' odds. Let's look at the semifinals again. So this is semifinal one, and the odds predict that Slovenia, Iceland, Azerbaijan, Portugal, and Croatia will not make it, which is exactly the same as last time I did a video. However, Azerbaijan is now lower, which makes sense. I think the rehearsal was not that great for this kind of song. Iceland has gone up. The fun has infected people betting. I do think that this has a chance of qualifying at least. And Slovenia has gone up as well and is now the country that the odds think has the best chance of qualifying out of the ones they predict not to qualify. At a 43% winning chance, they had a 38% winning chance last time. So good news for Clement there. More or less, I do agree with the odds here. I think I do agree that San Marino is in a bit of trouble, maybe, and could be replaced by Slovenia. I kind of feel like one of the ballots, either Portugal or Slovenia, has to make it, and I think at the moment it's Slovenia's to lose. I am surprised that Croatia is still so low, because I think the staging is much, much better, and he has really improved on that. They are late in the running order, so there is a small chance. I wouldn't predict it to qualify at the moment, but there is a small chance still. Surprised that Belgium is still relatively low, because the staging is just incredible. Cyprus as well, but 85% winning chance is nothing to be sad about. And then the top has not really changed all that much, though Estonia has gone up a bit, surprisingly, because the vocals are not that great and the Netherlands have gone down. That's probably why Estonia and Ukraine have gone up, because the Netherlands have decreased, but still a 94% chance of qualifying. And honestly, Sweden should be at 100%. I think there's no way this does not qualify. Then this is semi-final number 2, and the odds predict that Ireland, Denmark, Latvia, Armenia, Montenegro, and Georgia will not make it. And this is exactly the same as it was a week ago. So the rehearsals have not changed all that much. And I again agree with the prediction here. I hope that Montenegro will make it somehow, but it's a long shot. And I think that Armenia should be higher here, because I think the staging will please rock fans quite a bit, to be honest. Denmark should be lower. I think I don't see this with a chance of qualifying anymore, unfortunately. And you can see that Serbia has gone down a bit. Maybe the dragging by the feet has not convinced people, but it is a ballad with very strong vocals, so I think this should be able to make it. Luxembourg in 9th position has gone up a bit, so people like the staging there. And again, we see the same trends as in the winners' odds, kind of with Greece going down a bit. And I do agree that Australia should be higher because the staging looks very, very fun. And then people predict Finland to win this, which I think might actually happen. But Austria is also quite high. Again, of course, the semifinals are televote only, so that's why Finland is much higher here than in the overall winners' odds. And then I wanted to have a quick look at the two special bettings we now have. We have the jury winner, and you can see that Austria is leading that with almost the same winner's chance as Kai is overall. And I think that makes a lot of sense. France at 18%, also quite high. And Switzerland, I have to say, I think is in it with a chance to win the jury vote, to be honest, with the great vocals and the stripped down staging. So 3% seems a bit low to me there. Let's look at the televote as well. And there it's Kai with a 45% chance, which makes a lot of sense. Israel, because of last year probably, and that might happen, also at 13%. And then already Estonia and Austria in 4th position, which could happen as well if the epic staging convinces a lot of people. Finland in 5th position. I think Finland could be a bit higher. Ukraine, I don't think will happen. And Malta doing quite well as well. Thank you so much for watching. That was the odds update for today. I'm going to do these regularly during Eurovision week so we can see what has changed. This is not a recommendation what to bet on. I'm not an expert on anything. I just share my opinion. So take it with a pinch of salt as always. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you for the premiere of my trivia video in a few hours. Or if you're watching this later today, then it might already be out. See you then, and bye-bye.